Hey, I know how it feels when you're staring at a CNC mill listing thinking, is this going to sit in the corner gathering dust or actually help me make parts? I've been there with hobby-level mills that either cost a fortune or couldn't hold 1/10 of a millimeter tolerance. So before you click buy, let me walk you through the Sherline 14-inch Deluxe 8-direction CNC mill package A8020A and who it's really for. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about what 8-direction actually means in a garage or small shop setting. Most hobby mills only move left, right and in-out. This one adds a third rotational axis on the headstock and a second on the column bed. That's 4 linear directions plus 2 pivoting axes, so you can approach a feature from almost any angle without flipping the workpiece. If you've ever tried to drill a hole at 45 degrees on a standard mill and ended up with a lopsided part, you'll appreciate the difference. The headstock pivots up to 90 degrees in either direction, and the column bed does the same side to side. That's not marketing fluff, it's the kind of flexibility you need when you're prototyping a bracket that has mounting holes on 3 different planes. Now, who should buy this? If you're doing one-off aluminum parts, small brass gears, or even printed circuit board isolation routing, this mill can handle it without needing a second operation. I've seen machinists use it to cut 6061 T6 blocks into camera mounts and even tiny throttle bodies for RC planes. The 14-inch base gives you enough real estate to clamp a 46-inch vise without overhang, which is the sweet spot for most hobby budgets. The package also throws in the tooling you'd buy anyway and mills, these collets, parallels so you're not hunting for ER16 collets or 1/8-inch end mills the day after delivery. Where the value actually shows up is in the setup time. Because the head and column can pivot independently, you can square a part once, then flip the head to drill angled holes without re-indicating the workpiece. That alone can save you 20 minutes per job if you're used to shimming and reclamping. The downside is the learning curve. If you've never touched a mill before, the extra axes feel like overkill until you actually need them. And because the travel is limited about 8 inches in X and 5 in Y on this model, you won't be hogging out a 33-inch pocket in one pass. You'll still need to peck or climb cut aluminum, but that's true of any small mill. One thing that surprised me when I dug into the specs is how little you pay for the rotational freedom. A full 4-axis CNC router with similar travel can run 3 times the price, and those machines are usually built for wood or soft plastics. Sherline's design is all steel and cast iron, so it's stiff enough to take light cuts in aluminum without chattering. The trade-off is feed rates. You're not going to race through a block of steel at 30 IPM, but if your projects are closer to 0.020 inch depth per pass, you'll be fine. Who should skip it? If you're planning to cut steel on a regular basis, look at a larger mill with a real servo spindle. If you only need simple 2.5D profiling and don't care about angled holes, a benchtop CNC like a Shapeoko or X-Carve will be cheaper and easier to program. Also, if your workspace is tighter than a 2-car garage, the 14-inch footprint might feel cramped once you add a monitor, controller, and chip tray. On the practical side, the 8020A package includes the mill, a 200-watt DC spindle, a handwheel set, and a mini ER16 collet set. That's enough to start cutting soft metals same day, but you'll still want a digital readout or DRO upgrade if you're aiming for repeatable 0.001-inch tolerances. The spindle runs on DC, so it's quiet compared to a VFD spindle, but it also means you'll lose a little torque at higher RPMs. For most hobby work that's not a deal breaker, but if you're pushing 0.250-inch end mills in aluminum, you'll notice the difference. The biggest hidden cost isn't the machine itself, it's the fixturing. The package gives you parallels and clamps, but if you're doing anything beyond simple rectangular parts, you'll eventually buy a Kurt-style vise or some T-nuts for the table. Budget another couple $100 for tooling if you don't already own it. Bottom line, if you're a maker who occasionally needs angled holes, prototyping small metal parts, or teaching yourself CNC basics without breaking the bank, this mill delivers the flexibility you need without the sticker shock of a full industrial machine. If you're a production shop or mostly cut wood and plastic, there are cheaper, faster options. Check.